Solid foot and one of the chief attractions at Waikato's famed Cambridge stud, Horlicks is oblivious to today's race. The year before she went on to win the Japan Cup, she was one of Moonee Valley's stars.
Our Poetic Prince and Horlicks is flying home, but our Poetic Prince in front, near home and will win. Our Poetic Prince by a length and a quarter, Horlicks second.
Cambridge has a more than passing interest in the Cox Plate, and it all starts with Sir Tristram. Until upstarts like Dane Hill came along, this stallion was the unchallenged superstud. For 21 years, the horse tag Paddy has funded the dream that Cambridge's owner Patrick Hogan built.
We're getting 2 out of every 4 mares we present to him, we're getting them served. But 25 years old, he's not doing too bad, and you know, he's starting to taper off now.
Moody and known to take a piece out of unskilled handlers, Sir Tristram is the father of another successful stallion, Zabeel. His son, last year's Cox champ, Octagonal. When the Big O struggled for form this campaign, Cambridge was just as disappointed as the owners.
Perhaps by the 3rd run, sad to see what was happening for Octagonal himself, because he has a personality all of his own, which horses are. And, you know, it was sad. But when he came out the other day and over a bit of ground and showed us what he can do, and he still got it there, I think, I'm sure everybody in Australasia was just so excited for the horse and nobody else.
Shivers, it's Octagonal in front of Count Shivers. Octagonal back to his best today, wins it.
If you believe in quirks of fate, this may be enough to have you place another bet on the black horse. This mare, 8 Carat, Octagonal's mum, is in foal to the Big O's dad, Zabeel. The due date? Today, Cox Plate Day. With each year, the direct pairings with Sir Tristram become rarer and rarer. If you're a romantic, one to follow may be a 3-year-old filly called Bubble, stationed at Kiwi trainer Dave O'Sullivan's establishment at nearby Matamata. Thoroughbred Gold, she's by Sir Tristram out of Horlicks and will be after the AJC Oaks in autumn.
I haven't got brakes.
But all dynasties must come to an end. Hogan can't thank Sir Tristram enough, but knows that one day soon, Paddy will leave Cambridge forever.
But yeah, we're going to be upset, there's no doubt. I mean, our pet dog the other day got crook and it only had in her ear, and she's 18 years old, and
you found
she
that
should have gone, and Justin and I thought, well, she was on the way out, and I think the vet wondered why we were having a little blub while he was there, saying, well, will we put her down or not? So I guess it'll be harder than that with Sir Tristram.
Very contented and a smile on the face. Sir Tristram, all of 26 years of age. Now at the other end of the scale, the new crop of smart 2-year-olds. Well, we'll see some of the best in action this afternoon in the Silver Slipper Stakes from Rosehill Gardens. Don't go away.
Race 4 here at Moonee Valley has set a real challenge for punters. Here is Simon O'Donnell and Ken Callender.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kenny. Before we go to race 4, the most excited man in Melbourne last week was the 17-year-old boy who won the Caulfield Cup. And, of course, that's Brent Stanley. He's actually riding Central Express in the next race here. But I wonder if he's come down to earth yet. Anne-Marie Sparkman caught up with him a few moments ago.
Talking to Brent Stanley, the apprentice who won the Caulfield Cup last week. Have you got over the excitement of that yet?
Yeah, I've got over the excitement of it now and back down to earth.
Now, I saw Roy Higgins before, and apparently he helped tutor you in how to win that race last week.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of tutoring. It's a big plus having Roy Higgins help me with all my riding. It's very good.
And now he's telling me that you're telling him how to ride.
Yeah, I wish I could be able to do that. Yeah, it'd be good.
Last week, I mean, how long did it take you to come down to the ground?
Oh, I went back up to the family on Sunday and Monday. I come back down to earth then.
Yeah. And what were they saying to you?
Oh, they were very proud of me, and I'm proud of them for sticking by me. It's been very good.
And you were quoted as saying, well, now you just want to win the big ones. They're the ones to have.
Yeah, they're the ones to have, the big ones. You've got to keep on winning them, but you can't just pull up.
And what about today?
Yeah, well, I've got one ride today, Central Express, so hopefully I can keep it going.
OK, well, good luck. You're the boy of the moment.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, Brent Stanley might be the boy of the moment, but the man of the moment when Cups time comes around is Bart Cummings. We also caught up with him.
It's an exciting day for you. You've got Saintly in the Cox Plate. You haven't had a lot of luck in the Cox Plate in recent years. Shaftesbury Avenue, Let's Elope. Are you feeling confident today?
Well, it's very hard to be confident in the race of the Cox Plate when you've got the best horses in Australasia there, but this horse is up to the mark, and I think he's quite competitive today, and hopefully he's good enough to win.
Now, I hear, though, that you have been reasonably glowing in your reports of him after track gallops.
Well, I just clock him and watch him and clock him, and all the comments come from everyone else. So I think he did work very well, and he looked impressive, and he's done well since. So let's hope he lives up to his gallops.
Does he have a problem with closing out the races as preparation? I mean, obviously, he hasn't been winning.
He had a blue spot in Sydney, a couple of last 2 runs, but he was only beaten half ahead on 2 occasions, so no, it's not much to make up.
Now, I believe that the owners put up some mirrors in your stable for good luck with Saintly. Is this true?
Yeah, that's true. A Xiong Fu expert. Chinese believe in this mythology, and he sent this cove down from the University of San Francisco, and he surveyed the place, made some suggestions, and we carried it out.
So how many mirrors are hanging around Saintly?
There's one in his stall, and there's one at the farm, and there's another one in the stable at the Lilani Lodge, so it's quite a complex system. I hope it works.
And Bart Cummings, around Cup time, always knows what's going on. Well, Simon, what do you think of this race? Pretty tough one?
Well, let's hope I know what's going on. Look, it is a pretty tough race. A horse called Miss Margaret, the top weight. If she's on song, I think she's a class above the rest of this field, and I'm going to stick with her. She's got a lug around 59.5. Going to need some luck from barrier 10, but I still think she's a class above the others. I'm going to stick with her, Ken.
OK, let's have a look what the tote punters are doing, because I think they've made Miss Margaret favourite. They have. She's at odds of 7-2. Number 2, Morengi is at 6-1. Courtly Qualms is a scratching. Country Lane is at 7.5-1 or 15-2. It's 20-1 for New Smyrna. Suma Peace at 10-1. The same price for the John Hawkes trained Macrosa. River Tane at 20-1. Central Express at 12-1. 25-1 Clico. Calaring at 10-1. Desiree at 100-1. Astrodane 11-1. Eastern Princess is a roughie at 40-1. Escada at 16-1. Double Platinum is out. Palo Verdes at 15-1, and the bottom one was a scratching Smooth Flow. We just haven't got the board quite right there. OK, they're behind the barriers. Gary Willits, what do you think of this lot?
Well, tough race, Ken. I do like Morengi, the one that the Freedmans have just got over from New Zealand. It won a Matamata Cup. I think it'll be very hard to beat. And I've noticed the track, we're talking about the track bias. I've noticed that the horses leading, they're racing nearly into a headwind, and I think the horses with a bit of cover are the ones getting home over the top of them.
The ones swooping from the 500 metres, they're the ones we want to be on, and there's the Freedman trained Morengi. You don't often see a 6-year-old mare joining a stable at her age, but she looked well in the yard, and I think she's got an excellent chance too. Jock Gologly, can you hear me at the barrier?
I sure can. Yeah, you're spot on about Morengi. She's a beautiful mare, so relaxed. I know she hasn't raced for 3 weeks, but absolute peak condition. The one drawn insider here really took my eye in the, coming out here, Suma Peace, and it's got some good form behind Arctic Scent. And the other one, which looked particularly fit and zooming with fitness, is number 9, Central Express.
OK, Jock, Central Express, of course, is the horse we spoke of earlier that Brent Stanley is riding for Lee Freedman.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind Brent Stanley being on top of a horse today. He's going to be chock full of confidence, particularly after last week's Caulfield Cup win.
And that's what you want, Simon, confident jockeys.
Certainly do, especially on big days.
There's Miss Margaret joining on. Miss Margaret also looked well, as Simon told you. They're almost all in. Why don't we go to our caller, Johnny Cap.
Good on you, Ken. Yes, we're coming into race 4 on Cox Plate Day, the Arrowfield Tessio Stakes, a Group 3, 1600, and a very prestigious race from a future breeding viewpoint as far as these mares are concerned. Now, looks to be one still out, and it's New Smyrna. That's the one, New Smyrna, to come in with Patrick Payne on board. This mare is trained by Tommy Hughes here at Flemington. New Smyrna goes up on the extreme outside, drawn alongside Escadar, Darren Beedman's mount. And they're ready for the Arrowfield Tessio Stakes, and they're off and running. Sumar Peace from the inside barrier is about the first out. Country Lane began well, so did Astrodane Macrosa. Miss Margaret began well. She's going to have to do a power of work from her wide gate. Settling down just off the pace, Marangi. Up in that bunch is Desiree, followed by Carla Ring. Eastern Princess, widest of all, going around that first corner. Further back then is Clico, followed by Escadar. A gap to River Tane, New Smyrna, followed by Palos Verdes, and dropping out last is Central Express. To the back they run at the 1,000 metres mark, and Mac Rosa taken to the lead by Darren Gauci. Miss Margaret is in second place. Close handy on the rails behind those is Sumar Peace, and Eastern Princess is the one to move up now into third spot on the outside. Trapped very deep is Carla Ring. Astrodane between runners. Escadar wide on the outside of Desiree. Marangi getting back a bit. She's worse than midfield on the fence, followed by Clico. Country Lane, after beginning well, is now a long way back in the field. New Smyrna starting a forward move on the outside in the quartered cap. Palos Verdes a long way back at that stage, and last of all is River Tane, and Central Express is back amongst the tail enders. Coming down by the school now, and Mac Rosa being tackled by Miss Margaret on the outside, and going up to make a line of three as they approach the turn is Eastern Princess. Carla Ring just behind those, followed by Escadar. Astrodane is under the whip and well back as they turn for home. A long way from them is New Smyrna. Miss Margaret and Eastern Princess are fighting it out in the straight there, clear of Escada running on, followed by Carla Ring. Miss Margaret and Eastern Princess are fighting it out tooth and nail. It's a head bobber, but Eastern Princess beat Miss Margaret. Escada third, then Carla Ring and Astrodane, followed by Central Express. Country Lane, Marangi never got in it. Well back as Clico, then River Tane, Mac Rosa, followed a mile back by Sumar Peace, who's one of the last to finish in company with Palos Verdes. Eastern Princess on the outside fought out a tooth and nail struggle with Miss Margaret, did best in the last couple of hops, and has won by a narrow margin for Brett Preble. Yes, he's a great rider, Brett Preble, and very few Saturday meetings go by that he doesn't win at least one race. These mares had a ding-dong tussle. Look at Preble on the outside, vigorous with the persuader. He lifts Eastern Princess to a narrow win over Miss Margaret, who, Ken, did a terrific job under that weight from such a wide gate, and she did a power of work early.
And if you could hear any cheering in the background, viewers, it came from the bookies, because Eastern Princess was a big odds. Let's stop frame them there. Now, as they come to the home turn, that's Miss Margaret has just gone to the lead there from the early leader, Macrosa. Now, here's the winner, Eastern Princess. There is Kalaring. It couldn't go on with it anymore. And Escada ran home pretty well to get third money. Let's roll them. And Miss Margaret in front from Eastern Princess. Escada the only one putting in any challenge with the red cap out wider. But here I thought Miss Margaret was just going to hang on, and particularly when the other mare was switching her tail. But Simon, she did too well, the roughie, in the last few bounds.
Yeah, certainly did. That 8-kilogram weight pull, I think, was a little bit too much in the end for Miss Margaret. She was facing the breeze most of the way, just one off the rail. It was a good ride from Danny Burton getting across from barrier 10, but in the end, I think it just cost the mare probably a half length along neck, and that's basically cost of the race.
And the placings are official: 14, 1 and 15. 14 Eastern Princess at $46. Wacko and $11.80 the place. 1 Miss Margaret $2.20, 15 Escada $5.10, and I see Jock Galogly alongside the winning jockey Brett Preble.
Gee, Brett, that was a very good tough win. She had to work pretty hard, didn't she?
She did, you know, but she only had 51.5 on her back, and I didn't really want that top weight getting too far away from me. She's a pretty good mare, you know. She's won a Group 1, and you know, this little filly, I know she's pretty honest and pretty tough, so I sort of set her a little bit of task with 51.5, and you know, she's done a good job.
The first time you've been united with her, but it won't be the last, I'd say now.
No, I hope not.
All right, mate. Good luck for the rest of the afternoon.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Jock Galogly. Well, we're getting into the big action of the day now. The Silver Slipper coming up from Sydney shortly, then the Weight for Age Moir Stakes, and it won't be too long before the Cox Plate. Don't you dare leave your seats as we take a break on the wide world of sports.
Lawman. Kingston Town can't win. Then LA Bajou and the 3-year-old Grosvenor running on. My Axman took the lead from Fearless Pride. Grosvenor coming down the outside is after them. My Axman in front. Grosvenor and Kingston Town flashing. He might win yet, the champ. Grosvenor took the lead. Oh, Kingston Town swamping them. What a run. Kingston Town wins it next to Grosvenor.
Well, I remember my old mate Bill Collins said after that race, never underestimate a champion. And never you should, because Kingston Town was just that. And now there's a new book on the market called The King, which was written by one of my old journalistic mates, Graham Kelly. Graham, was he the greatest modern-day Cox Plate winner?
Well, I think he was. It's very hard to go past Tulloch, of course. He came back and won as a 6-year-old, but the King, having won 3 in a row and 3 fantastic performances, you have to go put him right at the very top, right there with Tulloch, in my view.
In 1982, when Bill said he couldn't win, was that the race that convinced you he was a champion?
Well, I've been watching races for over 50 years now, and that was the most exciting race I've ever seen. It's still, even apart from the book. But I think the win in 1981, when he came from a very awkward position, turning into the straight to score, proved him to be a champion, not only in Sydney, but in Melbourne as well.
Well, let's have a look at that, the 1981 Cox Plate and that great champ, the King.
Around the outside, making his run into the straight out. Paddy Boy being tackled by Prince Ruling. Kingston Town joining in down the outside there, followed by Yertez. Kingston Town over on the outside, reaches the lead halfway down the running. He's clear the champ. Kingston Town is drawing runaway. He's far too good, Kingston Town. He's going to bowl in. Kingston Town, 4 lengths to Prince Ruling. Third home out, Paddy Boy.
Well, that was a slight blue, because that was his first win in 1980, Graham, which was the start of the hat-trick. Why don't we now look at 81, the one that Graham was so wrapped up in?
Finger, a half length to Lawman. They're followed by Kingston Town, Silver Bounty on the outside. Next is Prince Ruling, followed by Fearless Pride and Deck the Horses. They straighten up, 250 to go. Bin Binger tackled by Lawman and pulled to the outside, Kingston Town. Lawman has taken the lead with 100 metres to go, but look at Kingston Town flying home. Lawman's in front, Kingston Town getting him very quickly. Kingston Town going home the better, grabs the lead, Kingston Town. Kingston Town has won it from Lawman and Bin Binger is third.
Wow, what a win it was. But Simon O'Donnell, it sounds as though it was a bit of a labour of love for Graham writing this book.
Yeah, I said I suppose I can understand it, but what was the basic inspiration behind it, Graham?
Well, I was asked to do it, to be honest, Simon, but and then it just followed through, and the more I got into the book, the more you realised what a great horse Kingston Town truly was. He carried injuries right from his 3-year-old days, right from the time when he ran second in the Victoria Derby, and then right to the end of his career, he overcame all these injuries to prove himself to be a truly great racehorse.
He was always been labelled a champion. Do you think he had a special affiliation actually with Cox Plate Day? He's won 3 of them.
I certainly think he did have, because as Bill Collins said, he couldn't win coming into the straight in the 1982 Cox Plate, and to all intents and purposes that was correct, and yet at the end he won with his ears pricked, you know.
You may consider this a little loaded question. Do you think there's a modern-day equivalent of Kingston Town anywhere to be seen?
Well, I certainly think Octagonal, as a 3-year-old, was an outstanding horse, and if he can win again today, that puts him right up there, very close, if not as on an equal par.
Ken, I've found someone that agrees with me.
You didn't have to say that to get him in, Graham. But I'll tell you what, I've read The King. It makes terrific reading. Why don't we tell you all how to get a copy? The book, The King, here we have. I'm proud to hold it. There's Tommy Smith with Malcolm Johnston, his regular rider. There he is with Peter Cook and David Haynes, the owner. Peter Cook, who won a Cox Plate on him. Graham, how much does it cost and where can we get it?
$49.95, Ken, and it can be purchased at all good bookstores.
And it's certainly good reading. We thank you, Graham Kelly.
Thank you very much.
OK, let's take another break on BMW Cox Plate Day 1996.
Tudor Passitrel, and Battle Heights is in last place and pulling.
Cox Plate 1974 erupted into a frenzy when Battle Heights stampeded from last at the 600 metres. The Kiwi champ had crossed the Tasman 7 times for Australian races, but this was his finest.
Igloo going for the rails run. He might beat them all, the old fellow. Kenmark the leader with Igloo out after him from Bellotta and Tara's Bulba. Igloo put his head in front on the fence, but here's Battle Heights from last. Battle Heights swamping them, dash to the lead, and Battle Heights has won it. Tara's Bulba.
1976 saw the dominance of a grey mare chosen by trainer Jeff Murphy out of a weanling paddock in New Zealand. This was Surround.
Now, Surround raced to Unaware. The 3-year-olds looked to have it between them from Better Draw. Surround put her head in front as they straightened from Unaware under the whip, and then Better Draw, How Now and Kiwi Can. But Surround, the mighty champion, is striding right away, and Surround's won it by 3 lengths.
The 1979 Cox Plate was memorable because racegoers got an all too brief glimpse of the Colin Hayes-trained Dulcify.
At the 400, Dulcify shot away 2.5 lengths, imposing. Then Shivery under the whip from Arbor Shane and Gypsy Kingdom. But Dulcify well clear. Brent Thompson going for his 4th Cox Plate, and he's got it. He's home, Dulcify. He's 6 lengths in front of Shivery, and then Arbor Shane imposing, stopping. Dulcify's won by a minute, and that's the way he might win the Melbourne Cup.
Dulcify's death in the Melbourne Cup of 1979 robbed racing of a shining star. But the spring of 1980 saw the ascension of a new king. Trained by Tommy Smith and ridden by Malcolm Johnston,
and but Kingston Town's cantering. We're going to see the real one today. Then 3 lengths wide, Tangaroo running on well from Family of Man. On the turn, and Kingston Town cruised up to our Paddy Boy, took the lead. In the centre, Prince Ruling, and then Yurtiz and White Tangaroo. But the real Kingston Town's going to street them, and Kingston Town's gone on to win by 4 lengths. Ready, not responding, Kingston Town. On the turn, it's been Binga from Lorman. 2 lengths to Kingston Town, now getting out from Silver Bounty. Kingston Town's got out. He's pulled the whip on him, tackling Lorman quickly. Kingston Town raced to Lorman from Silver Bounty. It's Kingston Town, Lorman in front. Kingston Town wearing him down. He'll win. The $1 Million Man's won it. Kingston Town.
the King was 7-4 favourite, but apparently not at his best when the accurate one, Bill Collins, counted him out of the Cox Plate of 1982.
Length and a half, Lorman. Kingston Town can't win. Then LA Bajou and the 3-year-old Grosvenor running on. My Axman took the lead from Fearless Pride. Grosvenor coming down the outside is after them. My Axman in front. Grosvenor and Kingston Town flashing. He might win yet, the champ. Grosvenor took the lead. Oh, Kingston Town swamping them. What a run. Kingston Town wins it and next to Grosvenor. My Axman.
Okay, well, that was all the great WS Cox Plates, and boy, oh boy, what a race it is. It's a race won by Farlap, it's won by Tulloch, won by Rising Fast, and by the great Kingston Town. Oh boy, all the champs are in the list of the winners of the WS Cox Plate. A pretty good race too is the Silver Slipper in Sydney. Let's have a look at the latest tote prices on the Silver Slipper, which you'll see live in about 60 seconds. Number 1, Pennines, is at $3.20, odds of round about 9-4. Reviews, his stablemate, is at 10-1. 20-1, Let's Explode. 11-1, Millwood. Captain Dash at 14-1. Dantalar at about 6-4, just getting out a fraction to 7-4. Snardame at 25-1. 16 starting. 50 Sugu's Song. And Volte at 33-1. Well, there they are behind the barriers at Rosehill Gardens in Sydney for the running of the Silver Slipper Stakes. A lot of people think it's a forerunner to the Golden Slipper. It certainly decides the best Sydney 2-year-old of the early season runners. And as we look at them there, many of the runners are already in the barriers. And our caller in Sydney today with Johnny Tapp in Melbourne will be Hilton Donaldson. Let's go to Hilton now for the Silver Slipper Stakes.
Melted it last year with Clang and the Oscars. Set to go, Silver Slipper. Pennines drawn barrier 1. Ready for a start. They're off now, and Pennines began well from the inside. Cooksley keen to hold a forward position. He's riding the horse hard. Sugu's Song from the outside going quickly with Dantalar, and they get across in front of Pennines Millwood. Followed next on the inside, settling down by Starting, and then the first start of Volt. 3 wide next came the Kiwi Let's Explode. Followed third last on settling into stride Captain Dash. Reviews drops out to last, and on its outside Snardame, but 3 wide. Sugu's Song at the halfway, and the Silver Slipper leads by by a neck. On the outside is Dantalar. Pennines with the run of the race. Third on the inside of Millwood, and wide around them, Let's Explode. Then came Captain Dash, followed by Snar Dame. Starting reviews well back with Volt. 350 metres to go. Dantalar went up to Suga's Song. Pennines can get out if good enough. It's under the whip, though, to go with these leaders. It's Dantalar in front. On the outside, Millwood is laying down the challenge. Pennines trying to come between them, but not good enough at the moment to take the gap as Millwood hit the lead. From on the inside, Dantalar. Captain Dash is charging home into a place as Millwood reaches the lead, and Millwood wins the Silver Slipper. 3/4 of a length. Second, Captain Dash, and third was Dantalar. Then Pennines, who seemed to have its chance over the last 300 metres, followed by Starting Reviews, Snar Dame. Then became Volt. Ahead of that runner home, Let's Explode and Suga's Song.
OK, well, let's look at this replay. There he goes to the lead. Millwood, I think he was named after the English Rugby League player Roger Millwood, and he's proving just as difficult to catch. Gives Dantalar the go-by with about 150 metres to go. Captain Dash, the country horse, trained at Kembla Grange by Cobber Elliott, comes dashing home to run second, and Dantalar, the favourite, holds on for third money. No doubt about the winner, though, the Allen Bell trained Millwood in the Silver Slipper Stakes of 1996. Back to our central commentary position, and Ken Sutcliffe.
Good on you, thank you, Ken. Very busy out there today. In fact, Roger Millwood, Roger the Dodger, just could never quite catch him. Now, while Juggler and Falante battle it out for favouritism in the betting ring, there's no doubt the crowd's favourite will be Octagonal, ridden by Victoria's leading jockey, Darren Gauci. Ralph Horowitz reports on two champions out to reaffirm their greatness.
Further out safely, and here comes the big O.
At the start of this spring, the racing world had a fairy tale story handed to it. Darren Beedman handed up the rider on the mighty Octagonal.
Octagonal wins the Derby.
And it was awarded to Darren Gauci. It seemed it would be the perfect combination. The reigning horse of the year teaming up with Victoria's champion jockey. But something went terribly wrong with the script.
Followed by Octagonal, who's struggling. Back behind them, Seascape.
3 times he was legged aboard, sent out favourite, and each time he was unplaced. While legitimate excuses were offered, such as the races were too short and the lack of pace didn't suit him, doubts were raised about the combination.
I obeyed instructions and I did what I had to do and what was expected of me, and I tell you what, they're too heavy to carry, my friend, and then, you know, I did my best, and of course I was disappointed.
So for what looked to be a last roll of the dice, one other change was made. Darren Gauci off, Darren Beedman back on, and the old team were back in town.
Shivers, it's Octagonal in front of Count Shivers. Octagonal!
However, he followed this triumph with a disappointing fourth, and the bead hopped off his beloved Occy and elected to ride Saintly. So incredibly, the opening for the ride on Octagonal was once again up for grabs. Gauci fought long and hard, bringing both owners and trainer before being given the nod. Now, with another chance, the jockey is ready to prove his point.
Well, I'll put it this way, Ralph. On Saturday, come Cox Plate Day, and if I win the Cox Plate, I couldn't care if I go to the banana skin. I just want to win on the horse.
So when you're getting beaten on a horse like Octagonal, do you ever doubt yourself?
I've got nothing to prove on the horse. Myself, I feel that I've got nothing to prove on him. All I want to do is win on him for my own satisfaction.
While big race luck has so far eluded him, he's had 2 seconds in the Melbourne Cup and missed the Golden Slipper win through injury, we are talking about an extraordinary talent. Over 1,300 winners, a celebrated stint in Hong Kong, and an unprecedented 3 senior titles as an apprentice, guided by the legendary mentor of youngsters, Frank King.
Yeah, well, he wanted to be a jockey, you know, that's the thing. You get these other kids there. Nowadays, it used to be when a kid would get money, it'd be wine, women and song. But now I reckon it's wine, women and drugs is the bloody thing.
But Darren always kept focused during that time,
yes,
didn't he?
Yeah, he just wanted to be a jockey, and that, yeah, he kept his mind on the job, and that he wanted to reach the top, which he certainly has.
He had natural ability, was willing to listen to good advice, and dedicate hours pretending a big bag of chaff was a charging thoroughbred, as Frank explained.
They get balance and practice on it, and at least with the chaff bag they can change their halt, and the chaff bag don't bolt with them. But if you get on a pony or another horse and you change your halt on them, the next thing they're on the other side of the course or something, you know. You say, geez, where'd that kid get there?
It's just pushing, changing hold, give him the backhander, things like that. Just getting your rhythm right, changing hands to whip. Basically, that's all you do, pushing.
Watch Gouchy at work and the talent is obvious, but this spring on Octagonal, there's been plenty of doubters. Today, though, could be the day that the Gouch and the Big O are once again #1. And if the fairy tale ending comes off, expect something out of the ordinary from the boy from Caulfield.
No one happier than me, and I'll probably do what Frankie Dettori did, doing an athletic jump off my horse, a somersault maybe, so I'll be pretty happy.
Well, Darren Beedman does the Big O on him, the symbol, when he comes back on it for a win. Are you going to do the Big V?
I'll do anything.